everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Hey Corner Crew podcast. I am your host, JJ Lang. With me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. First of all, you know him, you love him, Nate the Logan Foss.
Yeah, I'm still here.
And back from the grave is Dan the Statman Scully.
I broke my own internet. I'm sad.
That was pretty good. So, like we mentioned on last week's or the last episode we recorded, this is going to be our season review for the women's hockey team at RIT.
Really? RAT? What?
We'll do the men in a separate video.
Oh, I thought we were doing Syracuse. Oh,
I thought we were doing LIU. That's why I wore powder blue.
Wait, we're not doing a review of the worst arena in the history of hockey, the Tennessee Ice Dump?
It's not an arena, so your point's invalid.
Yeah,
nobody cares. It's a piece of crap. Anyways, that being said, enough of crapping on Tennessee. We do that enough already.
No, we don't.
We're gonna be doing our season review today. That's fair. We could do way more. We're going to be doing our season review today. We're going to just kind of start with some general thoughts, going over just basic facts about the team, talking about how we think they performed, what improvements they made over last year, what they can do to better improve themselves next year, and then doing some general kind of awards we have that we all kind of threw together at the very end. So I'm going to pass it over to Dan to start, and we're going to start talking about just kind of general team performance.
So there's really no two ways to put this. The record was not pretty this year.
No.
It was an improvement, but it still wasn't pretty. 4-26-2 overall and 1-13-2 in conference. Wins against St. Michael's outscored them 17-0 on the weekend to open the home schedule.
The very short home schedule.
Yeah, that was garbage.
The next non-loss occurred against number 10 ranked Penn State, the eventual conference champions. The Tigers managed to tie them down at Penn State. And if you saw the weekend recap after that one, that we were talking about how that was a big result for the team. I think they rode a little bit of momentum through that. They ended up beating St. Lawrence and Syracuse on back-to-back Tuesdays.
Gross. I
don't know. Those were a couple of nice Tuesday night games.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Their other conference tie would come in February against Mercyhurst at home. And unfortunately, that was pretty much it for the season. Not there because there was only 4 teams that made the playoffs this year for CHA. There's no playoff games to talk about. One conference game that really hurt was the second home game against Lindenwood, losing that game in overtime.
That was the game we gave up the late goal to, right? To tie it?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. 1909. Yep. They were probably 51 seconds away from making the playoffs.
Yep.
And unfortunately, in hockey, 51 seconds can mean a ton.
It's an eternity in a hockey game.
Yep. Because that's a 4-point swing. That's 2 points Lindenwood doesn't get. And it's 2 points we get. So, I mean, like we said, overall, not the greatest year record-wise, but like we did say, there's positives.
There's good things to see.
I mean, I just counted. We had 6 1-goal losses this year, and 4 of them were in overtime. 3 of them were in overtime. So,
and 2 of those overtime losses were against Lindenwood.
Yep.
It's kind of like
again, you flip those 2 overtime games, and that we're in, and we're playing Penn State, and who knows? We always play well against Penn State. You never know, but it's it's hard because the improvement was there, and again, it's another year of the results of them not getting
Just
the
weren't
result
there.
that they deserved,
Yeah.
and we can look back at it all we want. I mean, we had 2 conference ties that could have been wins too, and it just sucks. Like, they definitely, especially at the beginning of the year. I mean, we did not have an easy schedule to start the year at all. Like, back-to-back trips to Yukon and Vermont on the road against ranked teams with a lot of talent, and take the scores out of it. Pretty good showings in all 4 of those games too.
Mhm.
Like, that was one of the 1-goal losses. Was the second one to Yukon, and
Yep.
I don't know. It seems like we're struggling here to talk
Yeah.
about some things, but like it's one of those where like we always try to be positive, and it's kind of hard when there aren't a lot of positives. Individually, there was some
Well, there
positives.
was one big positive.
I think there was a lot of girls that took a step this year on the team.
Oh yes.
You know, I think the level of play was better. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Like we said, they were in a lot of these games, and I could go back and look and see how many of those non-1 goal games had empty net goals at the end, because there was obviously more. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think if we focus more on the development aspects of this season for every player on the team, it was another step. I mean, we again another young team. 3 players, 3 seniors. One was a grad student that came in just for this year. So a lot of players coming back and a lot of depth. And I think this team's ready to take a big step next year. But
The other
I
thing
would agree.
too is when you're looking at the out of conference record, you have to remember that this coaching staff is not afraid to schedule anybody. I mean,
No.
we
number
played
11
Colgate.
Vermont, number 3 Colgate. Union was a solid squad. Yukon was ranked after we played them. I think they were 15th in the country after we played them.
Let's not forget that
Penn State was one of
they
the
were
best
also-
teams in the country this year.
and they were in our conference.
Penn State's consistently ranked. Mercyhurst was getting votes. I mean, you got to play who's on your schedule in your conference, but I mean, there was not an easy night on the schedule at all. I mean, besides St. Michael's, but even those games weren't, if I remember right, they weren't easy. Like, St. Michael's never gave up and they played hard. Just, there was a
I mean, the score was lopsided, but that's besides the point.
right. It also helps when you have brick walls of goaltenders, and I think we said it in the recap of that weekend. Like, St. Michael's reminded us of us the year prior.
Yeah.
Like, we were in those games the year before, and like I think, talk to anybody that watched them last year and this year, we kind of felt bad for St. Mike's because we knew how they felt.
Oh, and we knew how they felt the very next weekend when we played Colgate.
Yeah.
And
we went from a 9-0 win to a 9-0 loss in 6 days. So
and the defense played really well in those St. Michael's games. I mean, we held St. Michael's to 18 shots over a weekend where we scored 17 goals.
Right.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think St. Michael's got 2 shots in the last minute of Saturday, and I was very upset. I was like, really? I wanted more goals on the weekend than they had shots.
That would have been absolutely hilarious if that actually happened. I would have died.
It's overall, I mean, better. Like we said, better. I think this team is, I think I know Dan and I were kind of talking about it. I think if this team can figure out how to put the puck in the net against those good teams, then this team has
Be a
the
force.
potential. This team has the potential to be dangerous, make some noise in the CHA. Like, not saying we'll be at a Penn State level, but just get in. They showed it last year against Lindenwood. All you got to do is get in, and you never know. It's tough with the and they're going back to the old format next year with Robert Morris coming in too. So
Which will be
everybody's
nice.
everybody's going to make the playoffs, so that's nice. But you got to figure out how to, see if we can squeak in a higher seed there. Maybe get a home game. It's tough when you're in a league with Mercyhurst, Penn State, and Syracuse, who have the pedigrees and have had the program success, where it's easier to recruit. Because players want to play for that program. But scholarships are a huge factor. And again, like, I think we've had the conversation in Discord a lot. Like, you have to give this coaching staff time to get their players in with scholarships. Like, we have I know we don't really want to talk about next year too much in this, but Addie Alvarez, an incoming freshman, just won a national championship with her travel team, and was
on the
all-tournament team.
Yeah, so she's not one to sit there and go, oh, okay, cool. Like, she's gonna make an impact when she gets here.
She's gonna make an impact when she gets here, and it's kind of funny. Like, I think I mentioned it on one of the podcasts. Like, how do we keep the local talent here? And then, sure enough, Celeste goes out and signs somebody from Greece. So that'll be fun. I can't remember the last time we had a local girl on the team, so that'll be like something.
Well, the last local player I think in general was Mike Rotolo for the men, wasn't it?
Rotolo and McMullen, yeah.
I was gonna say because they were from Rochester.
Garrett.
Yep.
You went to my high school for about a year, and then left.
I think one of the big positives we can take away from this year is goaltending, because Sarah Coe again was a legitimate brick wall that nothing could get by.
I mean,
she was the reason we were in a lot of those. We're down by one game.
Not surprised by that. Definitely not surprised at all.
Real new Sarah was it.
All three goaltenders with save percentages in the 900s.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's
a lot of
you
shots,
really don't see that a lot either. For either
still,
no, like that's especially in college, especially against the good teams that we played. Having plus 900 save percentages from all three of your goaltenders is huge.
Because you don't see that with a lot of teams.
No, you don't. And I thought Sophia came in and played really well in the game. She came in. She was a nice, pleasant surprise. I mean, we knew what we had in Sarah and Emma, but knowing that we have three goaltenders that can come in and probably keep you in games and give you a chance to win. I mean, I think any program would sign up for that any day of the week. So
I thought she played particularly well at the game that was at St. Lawrence. I know you guys weren't there, but you were probably watching.
Yeah, I
was watching. I was watching.
I thought she played well.
But there were a handful of us that made the trip, and she played well up there.
I mean, that was a 1-0 game going into the third period, and it was really they scored on an empty net goal, so she only allowed 2. So that's, I mean, again, I would take that any time of the week.
100%.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we can do a quick, if we want to do a rundown of leading scorers and stuff. I know Dan's probably got that up.
Yeah, let's go through the points leaders. I bet Dan's got that, and that's part of what we were going to talk about anyway. So let's do that.
So Amy Dobson led the team in points with 14 on 6 goals and 8 assists. She tied for the goal scoring lead with Lindsay Maloney, who had 13 points. Most assists was Kylie Aquero with 11. I mean, what did I say at the beginning of the year? She was your playmaker. Kyla Bear with 9 assists. A trio of 5 goal scorers, Athena, Jamie, and Emma. Let's see.
What's funny is most of Jamie's goals came against St. Michael's, which is kind of funny. Because she had 4 that weekend, did she not?
3.
Right,
gonna say.
yeah. So
Because she had 2 the one game, one another.
Yeah.
that's right, because she almost got the hat trick.
She scored on senior night too, right?
Yep. Yeah, all
Was it,
3.
Jamie scored on senior
she's-
night?
No, she didn't score on senior night.
I thought she scored.
No, not Dobson. Dobson didn't score on senior night. No. Amy was she was gunning for it though.
No, so I think
You could see she wanted to put it on so bad.
Jamie assisted on our goal on senior night. Maybe it was a tip play or something.
All
'cause that
3
was
seniors
Jesse
had
Burks.
a point that weekend. Yes. Yep. Who Jesse Burks kind of turned it on late in the year.
Yeah.
And that
sure.
was
Yeah, she
good
did.
to see. Jordan Bear too, both kind of seemed to catch their groove at the end of the year. Towards the end of the year, like it was like once they came
It
back,
was great. It was great seeing
So-
Jordan Bear back in the lineup contributing after not playing a lot last year.
Well, I was just looking at
I think
shot
Kylo was a force of
percentage.
nature too.
Jordan Bear actually led in shot percentage with 4 goals on 20 shots on goal.
nice 20%
Wow.
20%. Love it. Love it. Keep
not bad
that
to see
up.
either.
Keep that up for 2 more years, eh? That'd be nice.
And then obviously Nate brought up the goaltender save percentage was all over 900.
Yeah, that's huge. Especially with all your goaltenders coming back next year too. That's
Yeah.
That's major.
it is nice to know that that's pretty much set in stone. I kind of hope that Celeste gives each of them an opportunity. I would say right now it's probably Sarah's net, and she kind of took it over late in the year. I'd
Yes.
like to see maybe all 3 of them get a chance early in the year next year to maybe
I would
take
agree
it
with that.
from her. You know,
I agree
like
with that.
I'd love to like internal competition is good. Having 3 goaltenders that come in and keep you in games and give you a chance to win is good.
Mhm.
And you want that internal competition because it'll just make each of them better.
Yep.
And I think if you ask any goalie, having good partners with you is a good thing. Like none of them will say, because in the end, it's all about winning. And if the team wins,
You push each other to make each other better.
it's help. Yeah. So it should be. I mean, I'm looking at our depth chart for next year, and it's
Pretty good.
same team, and they're another year better.
And there's
Like,
obviously
'cause-
there's probably a couple unknowns there also for possibly if any of our seniors becoming grad students are coming back. We don't know.
Do we have more? Like, they announced a few players coming in, didn't they?
Yes, I think there's a couple coming.
I
I don't think they announced
Because
if
I don't think
Hannah
they're
or
all
Jamie were
on.
coming back though.
No, I'm more thinking freshmen.
I don't think we have that.
Maybe they just announced.
I think it
them
was
too.
just
Okay.
I think it was just Alvarez and somebody else.
And Emma Pickering.
I mean, you also got to look at the fact
Fishers,
that
Indiana.
you also got to look at the fact
So-
that the sophomore and freshman class are gargantuan. So
Massive.
it's like
Yeah, not even.
You probably
we only
can't
had
recruit that many people with the
We
number
only
more than
had
that.
5 freshmen coming in this past year, so a lot of juniors and seniors on this team next year. So a very veteran team, and I think,
Yeah,
like I said, I think that plays a factor. And if you look around the CHA and you look in the transfer portal, there's a lot of talent leaving the conference via
Mhm.
graduation.
I was literally going to just say that.
Although Madison Primo is going from one team to another in the CHA, and that made me not happy because it wasn't us. I think we were all kind of deep down inside hoping she was going to be wearing a different shade of orange this upcoming year, but guess not. It is it's gonna be interesting. I think this team has the makings to improve once again, take another step, and maybe I don't like it, depending on how they do the format of the playoffs. I'd like to see him go back to the quarterfinals are a best of 3, and then the semifinal and championship are a 1 game.
That could be fun.
I know that it gets tough sometimes. It'll be interesting because Michelle's first day is Monday, the 10th.
Thank
Can't
God.
wait. I know she's got a lot on her plate. I know we probably won't hear about playoff format.
I see you laughing, Scully. I know you're laughing at the point I made.
Be nice to see. I'm sure we'll find out come June when the schedule comes out what the playoff format will be like. But
yeah.
Without looking, how many shots did the team block this year, and who led the team in blocks?
Oh, good God. Okay, well, Simsie's
Oh.
gone, so it wasn't her, obviously.
Kyla, leader.
Yep.
Oh my God, Ben.
How many did she have?
She had 55.
What's the number on it?
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
350.
Higher.
Jesus. 5?
489.
Damn.
489. Good God.
I love that.
That's insane.
Love that.
That's a lot of shots blocked.
Well,
Like, it's
and
Sign
great
me
to
up.
see that, but it's also not great to see that at the same time because you're
True.
blocking that many.
well, and
Hey,
and
sign me up for that. I love that. That's
I think another reason Amy Dobson ended up with
Bailey
a
Kale,
C,
48 too.
Amy Dobson as a forward blocked 50 shots this year. So
Yeah, throw a C on the jersey of that
nuts.
player any day of the week. Thank you.
So wait, who was one? Did I miss that?
Kyla Bear.
Tyler Bear.
I almost said Kylie Aquero, but it was decently close in terms of the first name pronunciation.
That's one metric.
There was a lot of good this year. There was a lot of good that happened. There was a lot of good that happened. The result just wasn't there. Which
find
for
it
us
funny when I find it funny when goaltenders don't get credited for block shots, yet they block every single one of them.
yeah, like I don't get.
I think
that.
that's funny.
They're always like, oh, like
I'm
nice
just looking
block.
at
It's
it.
not a
It's
block,
kind
it's
of
a
funny.
save. I'm like, but they're blocking the puck though.
It's just the technicalities of it. It's not technically a block shot because goaltenders can't block shots because that's their job. So,
It's also the reason that you can't have a save as a skater.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna move on now. So talking about our favorite moments of the year, and then we're also gonna do what each of ours MVP was this year. Sorry, I should say who our MVP was this year. So talking favorite moments, I'm gonna pass it to Dan to start, and we're gonna just go around the horn and talk about what our favorite moments were.
I'm not sure if I have a favorite moment on the ice, but our mad scramble trying to go to the first Syracuse game in Syracuse this year.
That was pretty great.
That was incredible.
That was
so
amazing.
much fun. That was JJ was in my car, and I don't think I went under 85 the whole way.
No, he was flooring it the whole way.
Was
I'm like, we're gonna get pulled over.
Nope,
The
no,
fans
because
gotta
all the
clock 100
cops
and we're
were in
getting pulled over by a trooper.
Syracuse. All the troopers
because
were
the
in
president was in
Syracuse.
town. That's right. Because the
Yes.
president was visiting the campus.
When I literally said we could have robbed 4 or 5 banks in Syracuse and nobody would know. Like,
they
For
wouldn't have tried to stop us.
clarification, we didn't do that.
I didn't do that. I'm just saying that was the running joke.
He just brought it up 79 times in the car ride there and was really trying to convince us we could pull it off.
We could have.
I remember getting a
So
call
good
from Nate as I'm getting on 690. He's like, "Where
How's
are
the highway?"
you?" Like,
How's
I'm just
the
getting
highway?
on 690. It's like free and clear. It has been the whole way.
I think I stepped on it even harder after that.
Because didn't we leave early thinking we were gonna experience some like massive traffic or some crap like that, and it was nothing the whole way there?
Well, I think we left
that's
early because everybody could leave early, but
that's true. We also got the
still,
Shake
it
Shack.
was-
Shake Shack on the way back. Oh,
they're putting one in Henrietta, and I'm so excited.
I cannot. I live down the street from there. I'm gonna end up losing
I guess
all my
my
money to Shake Shack.
favorite.
Anyways, back to the women's hockey team.
My favorite moment was I wasn't able to go to it, but I think that first period against Syracuse at home the second home game against Syracuse. The four
Oh, that
goals in
game
the
was
first.
fantastic.
I remember I was working a high school game and I was watching it on my phone, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I was there."
And we proceeded to text you
'Cause-
and said, "Get out, never come back." They did this without you here, so you're not allowed in the building anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then obviously I think the St. Michael's series was fun until about 5-0 on Saturday. And I got kind of bored. I got
But I'm
kind
like,
of
all right,
bored.
we've seen enough of this. I think one of us started. Somebody at one point started getting mad because it was like 9-0. No, it was me. I was sitting there screaming. I'm like, I want 10. Score again. Do it. Forget their
Yeah.
dignity. Score
Could
again.
you
End it.
imagine if both teams had had a double-digit game this year?
I would have been
Yikes.
talking so much.
We
I'm
could
still-
have ran our mouth
I'm still pissed that Michigan
the whole
scored
year and
more
nobody
than
could have talked
10
anything back.
Yeah.
in that regional game. I wanted to be the only team to score 10. Was not happy.
Oh God. My favorite moment. I mean, I think driving to Syracuse was pretty hilarious. Also, Nate, I'm surprised your favorite moment was not you beating Otto the Orange and rock, paper, scissors.
I expected that.
The video of him jumping up and down like a psychopath.
If I had lost to a freaking fruit with arms, I would have been so pissed.
I would have laughed so hard.
Fruit with arms.
I would have walked out of there.
I
would
swear,
have really let you.
I swear,
JJ,
whoever was
Jay,
in
and
the
Talbot would
suit,
have been stranded.
I swear, whoever was in the suit for the first game was also there for the second game because Otto was only nice to me out of all of the Tiger fans that were there.
Yeah, you traitor.
Yeah, I question your allegiance.
I'm sorry I grew up bleeding a different orange.
Yeah, now you bleed the exclusive
Now
RIT
all
orange that only the
I just
school allows
bleed.
people to use.
I just bleed.
Can you not
That
bleed?
took a-
That's like not a good thing.
That took a very dark turn there, and I'm slightly concerned about it.
That's
I
because
think
your
my-
audio cut out on my end, JJ.
Yeah, I mean, it in the end, it was.
I think my favorite game this year was the first responder game. Obviously, I'm wearing my jersey right now because I love the fact that Emma got to design the jerseys and everybody got to wear them. Like the game result may not have been what we hoped, but like the jerseys are really cool, and I'm glad I have one. And I thought that like the fun in the Discord of like people like bugging out over the jersey auction and like, oh my God, someone's bidding on my jersey. Cough, cough, Spencer bidding against a player for her own jersey and beating her for it.
Honestly, just in general, I
Can we talk about that for time out? Do you remember we were about to start the interview with Bailey Kale? I'm wearing my jersey, and she goes, "Oh, look at mine!" She runs and grabs it and comes back. And we're like, "You won yours?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "A bunch of us were bidding on him." Megan was bidding against some guy at the last second, and he kept putting in last minute bids right towards the end. We know it's our friend Spencer, so we're all just dying laughing because we know who it is. And she goes, "What's so funny?" Like, yeah, one of the team photographers beat her off her own jersey.
Meanwhile, Dom bought
That was
three.
incredible.
Did Dom mean to buy?
Dom
3?
ended up with 3 on accident.
Yeah,
No, Dom ended up with them
he
on
meant
accident
to
and sold
buy
them for what he bought them
2,
for other people.
and then forgot about the
Nobody
bid
bid
on
on
the
the
third
one.
He
one.
won a couple extras on accident. So he basically sold them to some fans who lost out because he felt bad. So, well, he
Yeah,
was also
I
going to do it
also-
no matter what because he was like,
I need the money back.
but yeah, that was.
Um,
You know what though? Hey, all that money went to a good cause. So
Yeah, it did. And the other thing
mean,
is like
those were pretty great.
I was impressed with just how many away games that at least a few of us were able to make it to.
Oh yeah,
I mean, both Syracuse games, the one up at St. Lawrence, you guys took a trip to Mercyhurst. I'm
That
sure
weekend
there's
was
ones
awesome.
I'm missing in here.
I think
someplace.
I and you know what? I think the team appreciated that too. Like,
oh yeah.
I know for a fact they did.
and you know, you don't usually see teams come over and salute their fans after away games, but
They fist bump everybody. It's awesome. I love it.
this team did it at least at the Mercyhurst and the Syracuse game. we appreciate that too, because like that at least lets
We don't have to drive.
they
all
at
that
least
way to
know that we're
watch.
there. And I mean,
Yeah.
how could you not know we're there?
I mean,
but
the other thing is, and to kind of put it a certain a kind of different spin on it. Unfortunately, for women's sports, a lot of those teams don't have fan bases. So for them to see a handful of dedicated fans that are willing to drive 3.5 hours to Erie to watch them play in Mercyhurst, like that means a lot to them, and it makes an impact on them and their morale a little bit. Like it.
how many players do we talk to and hear from that say,
My
I came to RIT because
we
of
talked
the
to a lot
like
of them.
part of it because of the environment. And
Yeah,
I know JJ, and at least I know JJ and I have like made it a mission this year to get more people to women's games.
we tried our
And
best.
I think we had
succeeded.
decent amount of people at almost every game that wasn't on. There weren't many of them, which kind of probably helped a little in that because you only had so many chances.
Yeah.
But
and I mean the Discord too, the women's games that were streamed because people couldn't make because they were in class, or whatever. There was a good amount of people again.
They shouldn't have been watching
a lot
it
of those games
because they were
in-stream.
in class. They should have been there.
What did I say about telling people to skip class?
Hey! I did not just say that. Those were not the words that came out of my mouth.
No, but you were.
I think what JJ was
with
after
the words
is they
you
were
used.
not able to make it to the away games because they would have had to have left and missed class.
Yes, thank you.
Fair.
And the home games that are still at crappy times people cannot make because they are in class as well.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's still really. I really do think that's still hurting attendance. Like I think
as
more
much
people would go
as much
if
as
they
I
were at
love
better times.
As much as I love the double hockey weekends, maybe next year spread it out a little bit, get us some Friday night home games for the women, and
like just wait for the men to not be at home and then give them night games. Like I mean it's a lot harder to schedule than that, but like that would be great.
It would be kind of. You know what I would love to see?
What's that?
It can only happen for 2 schools in our conference, and both of them get a road weekend where the men and the women are at the same place.
Oh, that would be fun.
That I've thought about that in the past. I'm like, could you imagine if the men and women were both at Mercyhurst on the same weekend?
Holy crap, that'd be nuts.
We would have no voices left.
We would be
for the men's game on Saturday.
We would probably die.
Yeah.
So
there's some good spots to eat in Erie too, so we would definitely be all over that. So
there are some
terrorizing restaurants again, left and right, like we did at Union.
Oh my god, that poor Five Guys. So switching gears now to talk about our MVPs on the season and who we thought were the most valuable. Again, we'll start with Dan. We'll just go around the horn. I will let you start.
I've been told that this is a cop-out answer, but I don't see how you can feel that way. Sarah Coe, I mean, the last 2 seasons, she's kept us in games that otherwise we wouldn't have stayed in for 60 minutes.
Yep.
And it's just, if Emma and Sophia are great, but Sarah really shows that she's the number 1 goaltender here.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think any school in this conference would be lucky to have her, and we've got her in a Tiger uniform. And we still have 2 years left of her.
Yeah.
Which is borderline unfair.
I've said it a couple times. The fact that both programs' goaltenders are only sophomores is not fair.
Not fair for everybody else. It's great for us, though.
Yeah. That is definitely something. And I mean, RIT hockey's always had good goaltending, especially on the women's side. There have been some great goaltenders. And Sarah's just adding her name to that list, into that legend of goaltending that RIT's had. And if we can just get her some goal support next year, this team can be so dangerous.
Oh, 100%.
Because goaltenders can steal you games, but you have to give them the opportunity to steal you games. And couple games, Sarah almost stole us games. So she is going to have a phenomenal junior season. Sophomore slump did not happen.
Nope, not at all.
We talked about a stat that I totally just changed my answer. Amy Dobson.
Yeah, that was not his answer before.
It was not my answer before.
I
For the
brought
record,
up the
Nate's
blocked
answer
shots,
was
and that's
all
what
3 of the
changed your mind.
goaltenders, which Dan and I yelled at him for.
And then I heard
picked
she
3
blocked
players.
50 shots, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yep, yep, that'll do it." I think she was something that this program needed. I wish we could have 2 more years or another year of her. I'd take 2. I'd take 4.
I'd take 4 more.
I'd take her as an assistant coach.
Yeah,
assistant coach.
Yeah, not that our assistants aren't great.
But bringing her in would be fantastic.
Yeah, add her on.
That doesn't mean she isn't great too.
Yeah. So I thought she was a good piece that this team needed. She brought some veteran leadership to a team that didn't have a lot of veterans. So she's definitely going to be missed. I wish, like I said, we had more time with her, and she was great to us too. So, I didn't have very many interactions with her, but the ones I did, she was phenomenal. So, good people in this program, and she was definitely one of them for sure. So.
My answer is also Amy Dobson. Not for sort of a different reason though. She obviously was a grad student transfer who came in from the portal, from Penn State. And she comes in and just like she was given the captain patch midway through the season. And it became readily apparent why, because it seemed to us that she kind of just came in and grabbed the team by the reins and was like, let's go. Like, we're doing this. And she was that, I don't want to say we didn't have a leader like that in this locker room, because we know that we have people that do step up, but she just came in and just took over. Like she was the veteran leader the team really, really needed. And I think a lot of the team's success, I think she pushed a lot of people to be better. I think she pushes herself to be better. She obviously led the team in points and led the team in blocked shots. So she's putting herself out there every game, making an impact. And her impact was felt. I think we can all agree that her impact was felt. And there's a reason she was given the captain patch also. So my reason for saying Amy is that I think had Amy not come, I think I'd be in the Dan Scully boat and I would have said, yo, it's Sarah Coe 100%. But I think just for the impact on and off the ice that we know Amy made, from how the coaches talked about her, from how her teammates talk about her, that's why I say that Amy was definitely our MVP this year. And again, I'd love 4 more years of Amy Dobson. So unfortunately, we can't get that. Nobody, unfortunately, will get 4 more years of Amy Dobson at the collegiate level, but she definitely was the MVP in my book.
I miss hockey.
I hate recording this. Yeah,
I don't like these episodes.
I hate recording this, but it had to be done.
Yep.
And we should also reiterate again that the fans' choice vote winner this year for the women's side was indeed Sarah Coe. Just to make sure, if anybody for some reason missed that episode, which I don't know why you would have, but in case you're finding us new and didn't know that was the thing, the winner was Sarah Coe by a landslide margin, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even.
It was closer than I thought it would be, but it wasn't.
How
even
much did she win by? Like, how many hundreds of votes did she win by?
Well, there wasn't very many hundreds of votes.
I was gonna say I don't know if there were that many votes. Unfortunately,
let's just say her stack was like this. Everybody else's stack was like that. So it was definitely there was a good variety of players that got votes, but
yeah,
if it had been a clean sweep, I wouldn't have been shocked. But I didn't. No offense, Sarah.
I wouldn't have been shocked either.
I also didn't vote for Sarah. I love you,
'cause
Sarah, but
that was the
I voted
obvious.
for Emma.
I voted for Abby or Amy.
I'm like Abby.
Amy.
I'm like Abby
Oh
won
my
last
God.
year. What are you talking about?
If
I
any
voted
of the
for her
three
last
of us
year.
would have voted for Abby Davies this year, it would have been me, not you, Nate.
Yeah, I know.
It also would have been like Abby becoming the new Todd Skirvian, where she just gets votes every year, even though she doesn't play anymore.
So if we're going on
Don't
the
tempt
weekend,
me, JJ.
What was
if
that,
we're
Nate?
going, sorry, I'm trying to figure something out. If we go based off of when this past season started, go with that weekend, there's 167 days from April 6th, the day we're recording this. So
That's
Mhm.
way too long. Is it September
it's
yet?
167 too many. But
I don't
it'll
like
be-
this.
I think the future is bright for this program. I think we have
Oh,
the right
100%.
leaders behind the bench. We have the right leaders on the ice, and it'll be
It'll click, man. It's good. It's gonna click soon. I really do feel like it's gonna click soon.
Yeah.
I see no reason why it won't.
this is a big off season for this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
if everybody comes in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, because I think they should. This team has something to prove next year, and I don't really like bringing it up on the podcast, but the way the program Celeste walked into was not in a good spot.
No.
And
There
And
was
she
a
has
bit of an
they're-
exodus.
Yep.
they're
And she had
starting
to-
to come back up the
Yep.
mountain. And
I think the people who are sitting there calling for the school to move on from Celeste, you're idiots. I don't want to be that blunt, but you need to give her time.
don't.
She's a fantastic, she's a good coach. She just needs time to get in here and bring her players in and get, because like you said, there was an exodus. Like a lot of people walked away from the program because of how things in the past went. You have to rebuild the program pretty much. And I think Celeste Brown is the perfect person to come in and do that.
if you look at
the players love her. Oh my God.
if you look at the history of this program, it is built on winning, and they haven't done a lot of it in the last couple of years. So it's due.
Mhm.
The wins will come, and I hope with the wins come the fans, because
These players
gonna-
deserve more than what they get.
the players deserve more, and I will stand by it.
And they
Mhm.
deserve more. Part of the reason they deserve more is because, unlike the men's side of hockey, for the vast majority of these players, Division 1 is the pinnacle of what they're going to play at. Because there's just the pro hockey structure for women is just, it's not there right now. It's not that there aren't opportunities. We have alums playing in the PHF right now. We've had alums in the past play in the PWHPA. I know of at least two alums that have played over in Europe. So, but it's not the same. There's not as many opportunities, and the atmosphere in a Division 1 rink, and especially with a hockey fan base like RIT has, there's a reason that players want to play here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw it, the Colgate game last year. The first game at GPC, I mean, we had 1,000 people there. And there was a time where we were pushing 1,000 for women's games when the building first opened. So
awesome to see. And we could get back.
I know
the game this year where they played after the men. That GPC was pretty full for that.
We had a good amount of rows in the corner full for that one. So
yeah.
I'm, like we said, RIT likes a winner.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the crowds for the men's games are so great this year, is because they win. And with wins,
they won 11 straight games. Like people were packing in the house.
It is the women's team, the diehards will be there. There's no question about
100%.
that. But I think Dan Scully will be working up in the press box until he's 80.
Dan Scully will die in the press box.
Somebody's not going to let him leave.
Scully will die in the press box, 100%.
But
I'm
it'll be.
guaranteeing that.
I think we're just trying to drag this on because we don't want the season to be over.
Well,
yeah,
I feel like once we stop recording, the season's over, and like officially. And
well, and going back to that Colgate game too, I know I've said it a million times between the podcast and Discord, but the fact that not only were there well over 1,000 people there, but the vast majority of people stayed despite what the score was.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was having so much fun at that game.
We were all just happy to be back.
Well, I don't think I've ever been more proud of the corner crew than how full it was at the end of that game.
It was just as full as at 1-0 as it was at 13-0. So
I mean, with a score like that, it's you would have thought the place would have cleared out.
Through and through, RAT's a hockey school, and if we can get more people at the women's games, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Teams in the CHA do not have a home ice advantage. We are really the only team that has one, and
yes,
we can make it
the
even
players
harder
will tell
for
you
teams
that,
to come in.
and the coaches will tell you that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Jordan told Max earlier that after the first game at Syracuse that we made it like they were having a home game an hour and a half down the road.
And Syracuse had a decent number of people there too.
Yeah,
with their little pathetic whiteboard.
Hey,
we got chirped by national championship.
Okay. That was so awesome. I was so happy. I was like, damn, we were chirping national. We got chirped by national champions. I love it.
We're just sitting there. They got their little whiteboard and they're like, scoreboard, and Kate. Wasn't Kate talking crap to them or something like that? She was like, yeah, that's a lot nicer than the old one they had.
Yeah.
And then they got a new scoreboard.
That was fun.
Well, let's wrap it up now so we don't have to keep dragging this on. So if you have not already, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Hit that button, notification bell, so you're notified when all the new episodes go live. Like the men's recap that will be coming out at some point soon, probably in the next couple weeks, because our schedules all suck the next few weeks. So let's hope we can figure that out soon.
I have something going on every night next week.
Yeah, it's so bad.
And my schedule is utter chaos because spring sports in upstate New York is a terrible idea.
RIT Athletics just needs to clone Dan Scully to put him in everything. Just cloning chamber him. Spotify and Apple Podcasts are also still a thing. I totally forgot what the bit was, so I'm leaving it in the past. Nate will be happy.
Thank God.
Forgot.
No, I actually didn't forget. I'm not going to lie.
Don't tell them.
Social media links will also be in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is still running strong. There will be some fun stuff coming up there. The whiteboard poll. The whiteboard bracket will be starting soon, probably sometime in the next few weeks.
Yes.
Nate is so pumped for that.
Let's go. Bracket. The whiteboard bracket.
The whiteboard bracket last year was incredible, mostly because I loved watching what players were voting for what whiteboards they thought were the best. So that was kind of hilarious.
That was fun.
And seeing who got to vote first. So that's always fun. Get in there. In the Instagram and all the other social medias, you will find a link to the Discord, which if you have not realized already is over 500 people in it. This is awesome. Get in the Discord. It's fun. It's chaotic. It's Nate and I crapping at each other for the next 100 million days because the Yankees and Red Sox are back. So be prepared to have the non-hockey sports ball channel be fun with us two bitching at each other every day.
Non-hockey sports ball off topic is something.
Off topic
needs to come with a warning.
We have to put an entry bot into just off topic to warn you, but you might see in there. That being said, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Go
Easy for
Tigers.
you to say.
Yeah. If I can words, that'd be great.
Roll Tide.
English is hard.